Is capitalism the only game in town? Do alternatives exist that might offer a more equitable distribution of wealth and resources? Or are we forever doomed to a world where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer? These questions have sparked endless debates among economists, philosophers, and social scientists alike. Capitalism, as we know it, has become the dominant economic system worldwide, with its roots tracing back to the advent of industrialization. But let's not forget, alternatives do exist. As we ponder the dominance of capitalism, it's crucial to understand where and how it all began. Capitalism as a system didn't just pop into existence. It was born out of the societal and economic changes that occurred during the late Middle Ages in Europe, particularly in England. The system that we now know as capitalism evolved over centuries, spurred by significant historical events like the enclosure movement, the Industrial Revolution, and the Age of Exploration and Colonization. The enclosure movement in England, which privatized common lands, set the stage for capitalism by establishing private property rights. It led to a significant shift from a largely agrarian society to one where individuals could own and control the means of production. This shift was further amplified by the Industrial Revolution, which saw the emergence of factories and mass production, leading to a new class of industrial capitalists. The Age of Exploration and Colonization provided the necessary resources and markets that fueled the growth of capitalism. The exploitation of colonies for raw materials and the establishment of new markets for goods played a significant role in the expansion of capitalist economies. So, when we talk about capitalism, we're not just talking about a system that values profit and private ownership. We're discussing a system that emerged over centuries and was shaped by significant economic, social, and historical forces. As we proceed, we'll delve into the critique of this system by one of the most influential thinkers of the 19th century, Karl Marx. As we delve deeper into the complexities of economic systems, it's important to consider the voices that have challenged the status quo. One such influential critic of capitalism was Karl Marx. Marx argued that capitalism, with its relentless emphasis on profit and private ownership, inevitably leads to inequality among citizens. He believed that under capitalism, the wealthy capitalist class or bourgeoisie exploits the working class or proletariat to maintain and increase their wealth. Marx's critique of capitalism was centered around the concept of class struggle. He saw capitalism as a system that inherently exploited the working class by paying them less than the value of their labor. This surplus value, Marx argued, was pocketed by the capitalist class, leading to an ever-widening wealth gap. Marx's vision of a remedy to capitalism's ills was a communist society, a classless society where the means of production were collectively owned. In this society, wealth and resources would be distributed according to each person's need, not their ability to pay. As we continue our exploration of economic systems, we must bear in mind Marx's critique. His observations underscore the need for a system that serves everyone, not just a privileged few. And as we progress towards Scene 3, we'll delve into an alternative system that aims to address some of these issues: socialism. One such alternative is socialism, a system where the means of production, such as factories and resources, are owned and controlled by the state. It's often presented as a more equitable system, promising equal distribution of wealth and resources. But history has shown us that socialism, as a standalone system, has its pitfalls. Inefficiencies, lack of motivation, and corruption have often marred socialist regimes, leading to economic stagnation and, in extreme cases, collapse. Communism, another alternative, takes socialism to the extreme, aiming for a classless society where all property is publicly owned. But this has often led to totalitarian regimes, where the state has unchecked power and individual freedoms are suppressed. On the other hand, capitalism, despite its flaws, has proven to be the most resilient and adaptable economic system. It thrives on competition, innovation, and individual freedom, leading to economic growth and prosperity. But this doesn't mean capitalism is without its faults. income inequality, environmental degradation, and exploitation are all inherent problems in a capitalist system. Moreover, capitalism, with its focus on material wealth and consumption, can breed greed and selfishness. This is a system that rewards those who have more, often at the expense of those who have less. It's a system that in many ways embodies the deadly sins, particularly greed. In the end, it's clear that no economic system is perfect. Each has its strengths and weaknesses, and each reflects a different set of values and priorities. It's also clear that the search for a better, more equitable system is far from over. So, where does this leave us? Well, it leaves us with a challenge to continue questioning, exploring, and innovating. A challenge to find ways of balancing the strengths of capitalism with the needs of society. A challenge to ensure that our economic systems serve us, rather than the other way around. In this video, we've taken a journey through the world of economic systems, from the dominance of capitalism to the possibilities of socialism and communism. We've explored the strengths and weaknesses of each, and the challenges they present to us. We've seen that capitalism, for all its faults, remains the most effective system we have for driving economic growth and prosperity. But we've also seen that it's far from perfect, and that the search for a better system continues. As we continue our exploration of economic systems and the search for a better one, it's essential to understand some of the most influential critiques of our prevalent system. Capitalism. One such critique came from an influential philosopher and economist, Karl Marx. Marx's critique of capitalism was rooted in his belief that the system, with its emphasis on profit and private ownership, inevitably leads to inequality among citizens. He argued that capitalism created a division between the haves and the have-nots, with wealth accumulating in the hands of a few, leaving the majority to struggle. This led to what Marx termed as class struggle, where the working class or proletariat were often exploited by the capitalist class, the bourgeoisie, for their labor. He believed this struggle was not just an economic issue, but a social and political one, and could only be resolved through a revolution that would abolish private property. Marx's vision of a communist society was his proposed solution to the problems he identified in capitalism. In this system, he envisioned a classless society where the means of production are owned collectively, and wealth is distributed according to need. Even though Marx's vision of a communist society has been contentious, his critique of capitalism and the concept of class struggle remain influential in discussions on economic systems today. As we continue to search for a better system, we must keep these critiques in mind and strive for a system that truly serves everyone, not just a privileged few. As we commence with Scene 10, let's keep in mind that our objective isn't the pursuit of an impeccable system, for no such system can possibly exist. Our aim, rather, is to unearth a system that most aptly caters to the needs and aspirations of everyone involved. This undoubtedly is a challenge that merits our effort and dedication. As we delve into Scene 11, we will explore a critical issue that has been a constant source of debate and controversy in the realm of economics: inequality. Karl Marx, a name synonymous with the critique of capitalism, believed that this economic system, with its emphasis on profit and private ownership, led to inequality among citizens. The heart of capitalism, according to Marx, thrives on the profits generated by private enterprises. These enterprises, owned and controlled by a small segment of the population, reap the majority of the benefits. Meanwhile, the larger populace who contribute their labor and skills are often left with a fraction of the wealth. This concentration of wealth and resources in the hands of a few is what Marx believed led to the inherent inequality in capitalism. He argued that as long as capitalism exists, this inequality would persist and even intensify. As we navigate through the 21st century, we see evidence of this inequality in the widening wealth gap, the struggle for fair wages, and the persistent poverty in even the most prosperous nations. Marx's critique of capitalism remains relevant as we continue to grapple with economic inequality today. In the next scene, we will explore potential solutions and alternatives to address this inequality, In our ongoing quest for a better economic system,